Most significant changes begin as a quiet plan or a spark of a dream. These ideas feel real because they belong exclusively to you. Fen, a young monk, spent his days sweeping the courtyards and following the monastery's predictable routines. At night, he remained awake while the others slept, retreating into his own world. He ignored the task of copying ancient texts, focused instead on building an original teaching from his own understanding. He tested every thought and every word, line by line, night after night. An unformed thought requires absolute quiet. The dark room and the silence provided the necessary incubation for his work to take shape without external interference. Months of solitary progress eventually sparked a sense of pride. Fen carried his pages into the bright courtyard one morning and shared his progress with a fellow monk named Shen. Shen looked over the writing with indifference. He suggested the elders had already covered these topics with more clarity, dismissing the work as a repetition of things already known. Fen smiled and said nothing, but his internal confidence collapsed. Looking at his pages that evening, the writing seemed small and derivative. He set the papers aside. By the end of the week, his desk remained dark every night. Exposing a developing idea to even a minor amount of friction can destroy its potential. The weight of an external opinion often crushes a project before it has a chance to settle. Fen shared his experience with the old master of the monastery. The master listened and then told Fen to meet him in the breezy corridor outside the main hall as the sun began to set. The master stood between two open windows. He placed two identical, unlit candles on the ledges, directly in the path of the evening drafts. He struck a match and ignited both wicks. Two identical sparks flickered into life. The master raised his hand to block the wind from reaching one candle. The other he left completely open to the elements. The wind rushed through the corridor. The exposed candle flickered violently and died instantly. A thin line of smoke rose from the blackened wick. The first flame failed because it lacked a defense against the environment it was born into. The second candle remained steady. The master's hand absorbed the force of the draft, maintaining a pocket of still air around the wick. Over several minutes, the shielded flame consumed more wax and grew taller. Its light became bright and stable as the fire anchored itself. Once the flame reached its full height, the master removed his hand. The wind hit the wick, causing the flame to lean and dance, but it remained lit. The same wind could not touch this one. Fen recognized the difference. One died because it was small. The other lived because it was granted the time to become something stronger. Survival depends on the timing of exposure. A spark requires a specific environment to transform into a self-sustaining fire. The master and Fen sat on a stone bench to discuss the two flames, while the survivor continued to burn in the window. Both candles shared the same fire. Their divergent paths resulted from what they encountered in the moments after they were lit. Fen's writing was like a new flame. It was a fragile, growing thing that had not yet found its strength. Shen's critique acted as the evening draft. Fen had carried his unformed thoughts into the courtyard before the work possessed the structural integrity to survive that force. External opinions are a natural force, much like the wind. They are neither good nor bad. They are simply something an unformed idea cannot withstand. The master blocked the draft to give the fire time to generate its own heat. Protection is a strategic delay, lasting only until the idea becomes strong enough to stand on its own. Premature exposure destroys new projects because they lack maturity. Even the most brilliant ideas are vulnerable when they are still new. Fen watched the second candle hold its ground against the dark. He understood that the fire within his writing was still there, waiting for its time. Returning to his room, he struck a match and reignited his oil lamp. The burst of light pushed the shadows back from his desk. He resumed his quiet writing in secret. He committed to giving the work months of quiet growth before showing it to anyone else. Many people have watched a dream die because they shared it too soon. A casual comment can extinguish a year of planning if the project hasn't taken root. Building something of value requires guarding the fire. Silence provides the necessary shield for an idea to become self-sustaining. Every great achievement began as a small spark. Whether it survives the wind depends on how